Take me home, Tesla.
September.
Correct, yeah.
That could possibly be the big drop of like all the new features, the new Siri, everything comes out at once, and the new phone happens to have a couple other. We've seen rumors of like new features of the iPhone.
But we should get some developer stuff in like July, right?
Yeah.
When 27 beta comes
and
out.
early beta.
Well, the beta comes out on the day of Dub. Like it drops that day.
Oh yeah.
Developer beta. Yeah.
Developer beta, but like people usually aren't allowed to make videos and stuff until.
Fun fact: you're not technically okay. How in the weeds should I get?
I also
Let's
yeah.
get weedy right now.
Well, okay, you are not allowed when you sign the developer agreement to make videos about the developer beta.
Yeah.
Most people don't read that and don't care.
Yeah.
But we are in a unique position where we have some working relationship with Apple, and so we try to follow the actual rules. And so when the developer beta comes out and everyone makes videos about the developer beta that they're technically not allowed to, but they do it anyway, I wait because I agreed to the developer agreement. And then a month later when the public beta comes out, I make a video on that using my experience from the developer beta on the public beta.
The benefit of Waveform is we can just report on everybody else's videos and talk about it however we want before that.
Look at this.
Exactly.
That's that. Should we do the other Apple thing and just get it out of the way? Or what do you think?
Ads in Apple Maps.
Yeah, okay. Apple's going to allow businesses to buy ads in Apple Maps. And I can already hear people being like, wow, Apple Maps is sucky, which I still don't like it, to be clear. I still like Google Maps a lot more. Google Maps, you probably don't know this, but has had ads for an extremely long period of time.
A Google product? With ads?
It's their main main moneymaker? That's crazy. Yeah. No, I mean, if you go on Google Maps right now, you'll just see Dunkin' Donuts around you without trying to search for it.
It's so weird. Oh, is that in... Maybe that's in Waze. I think Waze when you're just like driving and it's just like, hey, there's a Wendy's right there. It's like, okay, cool. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's like your friend pointing out the window like, hey, there's a Wendy's right there.
So it's going to allow people, people that want to sell ads to have suggested places at the top of search results. And this is going to be based on places that are trending and based on your recent searches. And it will not be associated with your Apple account because all of the data is stored on device. So they're still trying to be hardcore about security about that. And they also say that the places that you go to are not shared with advertisers. Now, that's also what ChatGPT said when they said that they were going to do ads, but we'll have to see if that's true.
What's funny about that is Maps is like a very personal app. It's like where you're going and your location all the time.
Yeah.
And I do feel like, and this is a hot take, but everyone loves, to talk about, I would rather have privacy than have personalized ads. But when you're in your Maps app, wouldn't you rather have personalized ads than like, I never drink coffee. Why am I still getting Starbucks ads everywhere I go? I would rather have the personalized ad for the thing that I would actually maybe go to than constantly get things that are not associated with me at all. Yeah, I feel like that. I would actually appreciate that because I might actually go to the Jollibee and I would never go to the Starbucks that I might get an ad for from Apple.
You go to Starbucks a lot for a non-coffee drinker.
Yeah, okay, maybe that's a bad example.
But I just want to say, I've never seen someone go to Starbucks as often and never order coffee.
I think people, I just get the breakfast.
You're big on the pumpkin
bread. Is... Can I warm it up for you? Yeah. Yes, you can.
I think best item at Starbucks is the thing that has the spinach and the feta wrap, the spinach feta wrap.
It's a solid breakfast. Yeah, they got a couple breakfast sandwiches. Anyway, my point is, Google's going to give me ads based on the way too much that it knows about me. Yeah. And Apple's going to give me ads based on the knowing nothing about me. Yeah. And I suspect I'll be more annoyed by the ones that are for the thing that I've never considered going to.
That's kind of the big question that's been asked for the last few years, because when Apple dropped the Ask App Not to Track feature, and then Meta was like, wouldn't you rather that you had more integrated? And it's like, it's kind of, I don't know. I know a lot of people who buy a lot of things from Instagram ads. Mm-hmm. So I've never bought anything from an Instagram ad because I will not let them win. But I know that it can be quite effective for a lot of people. It reminds me of that story of the woman who didn't know she was pregnant, but Amazon did because it was serving
Target, yeah.
Target,
Yeah, Target, and then they start recommending things for.
It was targeted her, I guess.
It was also a minor, so
I'll be interested in how this pops up. Is it popping up while you're searching for places? Is that taking over the top of it? Is it just suggestions when you first open Apple Maps? Is like you think about places like Yelp that were a place thing, and Yelp is just destroyed ever since they did all the like you can pay to get like placed up higher and better reviews or whatever. No one cares about Yelp anymore.
Yelp has also famously like kind of exploited people, businesses, and called them and be like, we're gonna take you off of our recommendations if you don't pay us. That's like there are stories about this. It's crazy. So we'll see. I mean, I don't even know how many people actually use Apple Maps anymore, but or not anymore, but ever did.
As long as it's clearly marked as an ad, so I can very quickly skip it, then I'm happy.
Yeah. So
that's the hard part, though. Is like, what if the ad does look really scrumptious?
Then that's a successful.
I know, but how many like what you said? If you see it say ad, I'm usually like hardwired to skip. But then there's the times where it's like, that does sound really good, but is this actually good or is this just an ad?
Then you got to do the second layer of research of like, let me click it, let me look at the reviews.
I'm hungry. I'm just trying to eat.
I know, it's usually
I'm trying to research.
That's why I don't like. This is why nobody wants ads in maps. Like, you just want to find the thing, go to the thing, but the ad's gonna pop up and be like, hey, what about you? Want to go to this other place?
Yeah.
No, I actually opened this app just to go somewhere else. Thank you very much.
It is frustrating. Even in Google Maps, will be like best food near me, and it'll give me like a 4.5 because that restaurant they paid for it or whatever. It's a suggested sponsored result. And it's like, ugh. Yeah, Apple is in this weird place where it's like slowly trying to transition towards other revenue sources because they're scared of the iPhone making less money over time and all of these things happening, and they can't retain as many people as they want on their other services. So
this will come up again later in this podcast.
Oh, it will. It will. So we'll see how that happens.
Marquez, what are you more excited about? The Samsung A series or Flighty?
Is that a question? A real question?
I said before we started recording, I was like, I think Flighty is like top 5 app of all time.
Insane take.
And it's not like it's not multi-platform. It's not like a very broad thing that everyone can use. Not everybody flies enough to give it any hoots about Flighty. But if you do fly a lot, Flighty is goated, and everybody who flies a lot knows that. So it's weirdly it's tucked away in the corner of like, hey, do you fly a lot? No question about it. This app is unbelievably useful.
That will be a Flighty ad by Monday.
Sorry, it's just fact. Anyway, they just announced another thing. So kind of like. I'm describing it as like Waze for airports. They're calling it airport intelligence. And essentially what it does is it allows you a broader view of like what's going on with airports in general. So Flighty, for those who don't know, is like a flight tracker app. You put in your flight information, it tells you everything you need to know about your flight as you're about to fly, while you're flying. As soon as you land, it tells you where your baggage is going to be. If it's delayed, it tells you why it's delayed before the airline usually does. All this stuff is super useful. So airport intelligence is like, let's say hypothetically there's something going on with airports in your area. Allegedly. This could happen, maybe.
The timing for this release is perfect.
It's really good timing. Yeah. So something weird's going on at an airport in your area, and it's affecting like kind of all flights, and you're flying tomorrow, and you just kind of want to get an idea of like, maybe I should go to security check-in like 2 or 3 hours early, for example. Just a hypothetical. You would be able to look at the airports in your area and look at their status in this, which is sort of aggregating a bunch of data, I assume, from Flighty users and from, the FAA and everything, contributing to one spot, kind of like Waze, and you can get an idea of if the airport in question is affected or not and make your decision accordingly. So, again, as someone who flies a lot, another useful feature, I will be happily using this. It is kind of slow right now, I assume because it just launched, but it is full of information about every airport.
It's crazy that they launched this before the FAA did, but
I think that's the least surprising.
I mean, yeah, true. Yeah, there was an interview with the United CEO like a year ago, and they asked him what is one.
Hi, Wendy.
This is not Wendy. This is Bryce.
Oh, sorry about that. I'll pay the record. Thanks.
It's all good. Thank you.
One more thing. If you do need to reach us for any reason,
wish that you did to like update your tech stack earlier, and he said, I wish we bought Flighty. Wow. Like he specifically specifically said that he was like, they're doing insanely good things, and I think they've made them offers, and he said no.
Yeah, every time I fly, I get my iPhone has the live activity for the United app and for Flighty, and I immediately dismiss the United one because I just use the Flighty one.
You should just not allow it to send you notifications.
Yeah. Well, I also click on it for my boarding pass. That's the one thing I have the United app for, though. is
Your
the
boarding pass.
Everything else, like, just get from Flighty.
Wait, did they even test this? United boarding pass. If you have multiple people on the reservation and you are not the first one, if you have like your boarding pass up and ready and then lock your phone waiting in line and then come up, it resets back to the first one. I've scanned Adamant before on business trips, and then we have to figure out which one I did wrong.
Yeah.
Terrible, United.
Yeah. You should be able to pin your boarding pass.
Yeah. You should be able to have your boarding pass in Flighty.
You should be able to what?
Be able to have your boarding pass in Flighty.
Oh. Ooh. Yeah. Why can't we do that? There's probably a reason why we can't do that.
Because they want you to use their app.
Yeah. Probably.
That's probably why.
Anyway, so that's that. The other thing that you mentioned, Andrew, is Samsung dropping the new A series of phones. I only put this in here because I thought it was just a note and interesting that they all have the same battery size.
These aren't notes.
So, yeah. So it's the Samsung A57 and A37. The A37 will be $449. The A57 will be $549. So these are like your mid-range fighters. We've seen a lot of phones coming out at this price points. And they look just like the rest of the Samsung S-series phones, like S26s. They look like they have triple cameras, but one of them's a macro camera. You know, they make the appropriate cuts to reach these price points. But the one thing they did is they both have 5,000 milliamp hour batteries, which is the same size as the S26 Ultra. So the $1,200 phone has a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, and the $450 phone also has a 5,000 milliamp hour battery.
It's one of those things where you're like really pumped for the cheap phone and really bummed for the expensive phone.
Pretty much.
It's like hard to complain about this because I'm so happy that the mid-range phones are getting that. But you gotta take that as a kick in the teeth if you bought the 26 Ultra.
Yeah, you can't. I said in my review, so I don't have to harp on it again. But that is maybe the least ultra phone right now.
Yeah.
Is the S26 Ultra.
Back to the S20 days.
Great phone. I told it like it is in the review. But yeah, as far as the word ultra concerned.
Adam, did you purchase another phone?
The S26 Ultra.
He had it last. What color was it? It was a different color.
It's black.
Had
Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yep.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
How are you today?
I'm doing fine. What's up?
I'm calling from Ballystar according to a work order that has been assigned to you for tomorrow at 12 ACL work order. May I confirm that?
Yeah, you can.
Or do you want me to send them to you?
Yes, please.
Alright, I'll do that right now. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You too.
You plan to stay on that?
So the iPhone allegedly folds.
That's interesting. I don't think that's gonna happen. I think you're gonna change earlier.
Definitely.
Possibly.
I thought you were going to say until my next shipment comes in of whatever I ordered yesterday.
Yeah. Well, you could buy that, or you could buy a MacBook Neo. So, choose wisely.
For $1,200?
No,
Buy two.
The cheap one.
Oh yeah, the cheap 8. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You could buy that or a Neo as well.
Speaking of the MacBook Neo, you want to talk about this Windows 11 problem?
Yeah, we could do this before break. So, recent video on the channel will be live by the time you see this, which is just talking about the Windows laptop problem. This was inspired by the two Mac laptops that I've tested most recently, the MacBook Neo, their $599/$499 mid-range fighter, and the M5 Max MacBook Pro, which I've also tested. I was running all my benchmarks on it. It had like 18,000 megabyte per second SSD read and write speeds, which is crazy. It has benchmarked multi-core higher than any other Mac ever, including the Mac Pro and M3 Ultra. It has GPU scores matching M3 Ultra, which is insane. This is a Max chip in a laptop. So I'm actually thinking like this is now a laptop that could actually replace my Mac Pro and be my desktop. I might be that guy at some point. But having all these thoughts also made me think, well, what's going on in Windows land? Like, what is actually the equivalent of, you know, the highest end laptop you could get, and could it be the desktop that I choose to use? How good are those laptops? And so that had me digging into like, okay, what's going on with XPS? What's going on with Razer Blades? What's going on also with the Neo competitors? I bought a $550 Acer laptop. We tested that. And essentially, the conclusion I came to was Apple's Apple Silicon advantage and their vertical integration is a huge advantage at the high end for efficiency and performance, and it turns out to also be a huge advantage at the low end for cost.
Yeah.
And the cherry on top is that Apple doesn't actually really need to make a ton of money on Neos on the hardware margin
Services.
because it's basically, as I said in the video, like a Trojan horse for new Apple customers, which then will spend way more on software, on services, on Apple Care, on Apple TV, on Apple Creative Studio, all these other things. So they don't have to make the $100 on the hardware margin. They will make a ton of money over time on just getting a new person to be a Mac user.
This is the entire Chromebook play. It was get people on Google services when they're 5 years old, so they will use services for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was interesting to sort of see that in real time and just like put the machines next to each other and be like, oh yeah, they can make just a straight up better laptop for the same price, and that's going to get people to become first time Mac people.
I mean, a Windows computer has parts from a ton of different companies, and every single one of those companies has to make margin.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally the main problem.
Disadvantage off the riff, like
Insane
just having to do that, and that it's the same. It's like similar with Android phones. It's similar with tablets. It's just like when Apple has the full integration through, there's a benefit there. Even just like making software on mobile, right? Like we see all the time. If you're making iOS software, you don't have to do it that hard. But if you're making Android software, it has to fit
1,000,
like thousands of tens of thousands of different like form factors and phones and resolutions and aspect
Why Google has been so hardcore about just trying to make Android so flexible with screen sizes and stuff.
And that's part of the advantage, right? Is there is a choice. Like in Android land, if I really, really, really care about having 8K video, well, there is no iPhone that can do that. So if I just want to choose a phone that can shoot 8K video, you can find that in Android land. You can find all sorts of other different things you might care about, like a folding screen or whatever in Android land.
Yeah.
But the couple of phones that Apple makes are like locked in, super tightly integrated, and you might not be super used to the way they do things, but they do it the same way every single time, so you kind of just get used to that when you're in that ecosystem.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's kind of the same thing with Windows. Now, in this sort of latest generation, this is the nuance of it, is yes, you depend on all these different companies who make the parts to your computer to all make their margin, but also make a good piece. You have to make a great Windows laptop, several different companies all executing and firing on all cylinders at the same time for your one computer to be good. So if you're Dell and you make the XPS like I showed, you're also depending on Intel to be making a good chip at that time, which they are. And, you know, your Dell, you have to make a good computer with a good screen and a good keyboard and all that stuff, which they are. And you need Windows to be good.
I'm fine with Windows. I like Windows.
Yeah.
So Windows 11 is in kind of a weird place because not everybody's loving Windows 11. I haven't used Windows since Windows 10, and I was jumping into Windows 11 again, and I set up this XPS. It took me 45 minutes to set it up.
The setup is
because
insufferable.
There were mandatory downloading updates and stuff. Once I got through the updates, it was like, sign into this, sign into that, download Microsoft 365. Do you want to use Copilot? Do you want Recall on? Do you want all these other things? And I was like, no. All this stuff it was asking me. And then I finally got into my clean install of Windows, and then I got a pop-up for McAfee to be installed.
And this is the other thing. The only other way that these manufacturers that make the laptops can make the laptops cheap enough to even be competitive at all is that they have to put a bunch of bloatware on it. They have to get
make more.
Yeah, I mean, we see this on Android phones too. Like the Android phones that come with Facebook installed and come with Instagram installed. They don't do that out of the kindness of their heart. They do that because Meta pays them to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's not a good situation for anybody else.
Yeah.
And Microsoft really, they tried to do the vertical integration with the Surface, but they're such a B2B company that it's such an afterthought for them. We saw this with the Pixel for a very long time, the Nexus program, the Pixel.
Tensor.
Google didn't really care about the Pixel, and they still don't really care. They're trying to care more, and the Pixels are really good now. They're really, really good now. But it still doesn't have quite the level of vertical integration that they would like.
And even if they achieved it, they're in this weird spot where they make Android for everyone else.
Yeah.
So they're competing against all of that.
Yeah.
While also providing them with the OS. So this happens in Google land because they make the Pixel and Tensor and they're all vertically integrated, and they'll give the Pixel exclusive Android features, and now they're competing against every other Android phone. Same thing happened with Windows and Microsoft and Surface and making this beautifully, ideally very vertically integrated thing. Now you're competing against all your other OEMs trying to make good Windows machines. And maybe that's like a lead by example type thing, but it never went well.
Yeah. And the funny thing about the Google Android features thing is that they also want to make Android a popular OS to compete with iOS, and so they have to eventually give a lot of these features to the broader Android ecosystem. And that's why Google does this awkward thing where they have Pixel exclusive features for like 2 months, and then it goes to every other Android phone because they need other people to want to use Android in general. And it's also why they had that weird bromance with Samsung for such a long time.
Yeah.
So, Ellis, you look like you really want to say something.
I know. I've just been fighting a Windows PC all week, and like, to be honest, I it's all tinfoil hat stuff. Like, because it's a Windows PC that on paper has a really good graphics card and a really good, good enough graphics card and a good enough processor, but like, and we didn't build this PC, and it sort of is the things that I think you've been talking about, Mark. It's like it's for a video we're working on that involves this like peripheral device that connects via USB 3.0, and it keeps crashing all the time, and I couldn't figure out why it kept crashing. And my working theory right now, and I haven't like tested this, so again, it's tinfoil hat, is that the USB 3.0 ports on this computer are just not USB 3.0 ports. That's my best guess, because and the USB 3.2 ports are USB 3.0 ports. And it's like, there's no way the company who built this PC, they didn't build the video we're working on that involves this like peripheral device that connects via USB 3.0, and it keeps crashing all the time, and I couldn't figure out why it kept crashing. And my working theory right now, and I haven't like tested this, so again, it's tinfoil hat, is that the USB 3.0 ports on this computer are just not USB 3.0 ports. That's my best guess, because and the USB 3.2 ports are USB 3.0 ports. And it's like, there's no way the company who built this PC, they didn't build the ports. They definitely got the USB I/O box like from
the motherboard.
Yeah, from someone else. But it's like that. It's sort of what you're talking about. It's like you need all, or like for some reason, not a single Bluetooth keyboard will connect to this PC. Not one. There's one Logitech keyboard in the whole office that will connect for 30 seconds and then immediately disconnect. And the rest of, and it's not like I haven't tried all 100 Bluetooth keyboards that are in the office.
Who could those be? Where could those have come from?
And so this is all ringing very true.
It also is shaped like a shoe.
Well, I was trying not to say, I don't know if any of these are the problems. I don't want
There's a chance, like, that computer doesn't get used very often. There might be some driver updates that are in there that we haven't, like, dug that deep into, or, like, it was dormant for a while, so...
Totally. And
some are probably that, but some are also, like, it should be easy to figure out what those problems are.
Yeah, I don't want to accuse anyone of counterfeit USB ports, but I genuinely cannot... I'm at the point now where I'm like, why does the USB 3.0 cable not get USB 3.0 speeds until it's in the 3.2 port? Why does the 3.0 port not give 3.0 speeds?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Fair. I was looking into the eyes of your hat for a second.
Yeah, I should probably address this. This is Franklin, the mascot of the Philadelphia 76ers. Thank you to fan Michael for the sick hat. I'm going to be wearing this the whole
Why do they have a cat as the mascot?
It's a dog.
That's
His name is Franklin.
That is a cat. 1,000%.
Isn't Franklin a turtle?
His whiskers.
Franklin is Benjamin Franklin, the founding father.
That's
half of the things in Philadelphia.
He was a dog?
Benjamin Franklin was, in fact,
What number president was he?
he was president number 6, and when he signed the Declaration of Independence, it was a paw print.
You got that dog in it.
Cat print. To bring it back, I think the best
Still
way...
a paw print.
I didn't notice that. I feel like the best way, if you really want an example of the difference between like the vertical integration in Apple and the vertical integration in Android Windows, go on our Apple and go on our Android and watch. Everyone in Apple is just generally mad at the same thing, where everyone in Android is mad at each other, because even though they're all using Android, they're all fans of different companies of phones, and they all hate each other. It is just the wildest infighting ever, and like, now imagine all of those different people need to work together and build something. And it's just...
And to be fair, like...
I'm a full Android and Windows user at home, by the way. I only use Apple stuff.
Yeah. I like Android better than iOS by far. And And there's a great piece by David Pierce. He tried to use Android for like the last 4 months, and he used a bunch of different phones. And he really liked the Fairphone 6, but it doesn't work on Verizon, so he couldn't do it. But he went back to iOS because his conclusion was effectively phones are app machines, and iOS has better apps. And he relies on too many iOS apps to go back to Android, which sucks because Android is a way better OS.
Well, I want to play devil's advocate because as someone who's like fully Apple, ecosystem up, there are a lot of these like vertically integrated things in the Apple world that are like not supported to the degree they should be. Like Freeform has like 6 updates that they just need to add. Like there's just no excuse why Freeform doesn't have these things, but I just don't think they care enough about Freeform to do it. I don't think they do. And there's a bunch where like, why does the Apple Mail app still kind of blow? Or like, sucks, so you know what I mean? It's even
when you're just the default and you get to be the default thing for what 80% market share of the US. Like, why change?
Why update it?
Yeah, but like, why is it so hard to rotate something on the desktop version of Freeform? And why is it so hard to select multiple objects on the mobile version of Freeform?
I would like to see the user base for Freeform.
It's me.
Yeah,
I keep
that's why
your average Apple user. There's definitely some people who hate Apple screenshotting you in the cat hat right now. Like average Apple user.
There's also it's kind of like either that or the massive graveyard of stuff that Google tries and then just kills a year later. Right. So it's like, would I rather have the kind of weak updates, but at least it works the same way every time on one side of the fence, or like Google launching an app and me going, I don't think I want to switch to this because I don't trust them to even keep this alive for a year.
Rip inbox, bro.
Yeah.
So true.
So there's choice on one side, but there's the upside and downside of that choice.
Also, there's at least 6 Freeform users because there are several things that I force my friends to do on Freeform with me.
So they're monthly.
Plan vacations. Freeform is excellent for that.
This whole conversation is also negating people who have like very specific needs that software-wise, or like needs to be on a Windows machine, needs to be on Android, needs to be on iOS. Like, we're talking outside of that because clearly then we have one option.
Almost every business distributes Windows computers.
I think it's a big part of the equation for like why they are where they are, especially because like you talk about like David having like he come from an iPhone, so he's already plugged in and uses a lot of iPhone only apps. Yeah, there's a lot of people who play a certain game that you can't play on Mac, or there are people who use certain softwares for their business that are just only Windows XP. Like that, that's a real thing. Where now Windows XP has a massive market share because that's still stable and that's the thing that we use, and that's where our apps are. So like if your dependencies or you're plugged into one specific thing, like I'm a Mac user, you not because I switched to Final Cut Pro. Yeah, that is why I started using a Mac. Yeah, and now here we are a decade later, and I'm in the ecosystem, and they got me. Yeah, that's the point of Neo. That's the point of like all these other feelers, is to just get a device in front of you that gives you options, and hopefully you like one of those things, and then you are sucked into that ecosystem.
Yeah, I mean, I was the lead reviewer at Android Authority for 5 years. I didn't use an iPhone until the iPhone 13 when I reviewed it, and I didn't switch to an iPhone until the iPhone 15 because I had USB-C. I would have never touched an Apple device, and all of my dependencies were in Android. Like, I could use my world. Nobody texted, because when I lived in the Bay Area, everyone used Facebook Messenger, but then I moved here, and now, I swear, I am in so many iMessage group chats that every time I test an Android phone, they bully the shit out of me.
Now look at you. What have they done to our lad?
I know. And I know that you say that's not a real problem, but bullying is real. Okay? I don't like crying. Do you like crying? It sucks.
We should get on GroupMe.
No.
Oh my god.
Fun fact.
Oh my god.
Worst app of all time.
First messaging app of the MKBHD business. Yeah. When Brandon and Vince started.
It was a group.
Well, because Marquez and I were in a GroupMe for both of our ultimate teams.
Every Frisbee team I've played for 15 years until like last year was a GroupMe.
That's
team.
Unbelievable.
That was the most feature, not an app of all time.
It's genuinely. I was talking about Flighty being one of the 5 best. GroupMe is one of the 5 worst apps of all time.
Yeah. I want to make one final note related to this, and then we can take it to break on the Windows 11 thing.
Mm-hmm.
Dave 2D put out a really good video recently about this, and the gist of this was that a number of years ago, like 5 or 6 years ago, he had all of the Windows manufacturers send him laptops that were in the same price range as the Apple M1 Air, I believe, so he could compare them. And all these manufacturers like, sure, yeah, like here's our laptop that's that price. And then he asked all the same manufacturers this year to send him laptops that were in the same price range, and they were all like, no. And I feel like that kind of distills the entire thing. That's all you really need to know, because they're all afraid.
They knew the video he was going to make.
It was going to make it look negative. Yeah, it was going to make it look terrible. They didn't really know at the time how insane M1 was, but they still feel 5 to 6 years behind at this point. So it's crazy.
Yeah. So go watch the video if you haven't already.
I want to say something nice about Windows.
Go for it.
Because everyone always tells me I'm too mean to my Windows green bubble people. I know those are two separate
Windows green bubble.
To me, you're the same. But
yeah, that's fair.
Something nice about Windows, I like that they support old graphics engines. I like that I can still get a DirectX driver that runs on a modern Windows motherboard. I think that's cool. Apple does not do that. Pre-metal stuff, very hard to run on Mac OS. DirectX stuff, very easy to run on a Windows computer.
Pre-metal used like rocks and fire. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the name of the old Apple graphics engine, actually. Rocks and Fire. Yeah, Steve Jobs was super against it.
Yeah, and then when Johnny Ive came in, he said aluminium, and they knew it had to be metal.
That's a great place to jump to trivia.
What was the old graphics driver of Apple? Rocks and Fire.
Today we're doing a number question, and it's Delta, not Price is Right rules.
Is it United?
No, it's Delta.
We'll talk about United later.
Yeah, we will. Will we?
Yes.
Oh.
I thought.
I think we lost our chance to talk about United.
Oh.
Yeah. Also,
we don't have to talk about it.
That's really cool, but they're like the 7th airline to do that. So I was sort of like, why are we freaking out about this? Skycap. It's called
It's mingling beds.
In regular class?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought that was like a super premium crazy feature.
No. Most other airlines just call it. The first one that did it.
Yeah.
United was like, guys, you could get a whole row.
Yeah.
And then you can turn it into a bed.
And mingle.
Relax row.
Yeah. Other airlines call it Sky Couch. I think JetBlue does this too. A bunch of the European airlines do it too. But this is not like a new groundbreaking thing. This is like a United catching up sort of thing.
Well, they pretended it was.
Anyway, well, of course, it's a business thing. But anyway, today's trivia question is: Delta. How many Wikipedia pages have the title Apple TV?
I'm assuming it counts if it's like Apple TV parentheses something.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's
cool.
and I'm only accepting Apple space TV, by the way. That exact set of, was that 9 characters in a space?
What about would Apple TV Plus count?
7 characters in a space.
Or does it just have to be Apple TV?
It's APPLE space TV and then something in parentheses.
Oh.
How many Wikipedia pages have that exact title?
Damn.
Cool.
Delta.
Pretty good question.
Can we do a quick shout out?
Yeah.
Sure.
Someone on our subreddit watched Waveform at a planetarium at their university.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
I kind of want to know what that sounded like. It was probably
like a bee's ass.
Dude, I've heard that amazing. I was
probably the opposite.
Yeah.
When I worked at Liberty Science Center, the planetarium was sick, and it was also. It sounded really good. I don't remember why I remember it sounded really good, but the videos that they played, because it's like you're looking up, everything's around you, there's speakers everywhere.
Your visual field is making it sound better.
Yeah. At least my memory of it was that it sounded sick.
I really hope they played the episode where Andrew says he can't name all the planets.
I wish he stretched it. I wish there was a stretch to fit somehow, because
60.
seeing
The
one
whole
of
thing.
our giant faces circular over top.
That is what it felt like to watch Project Hail Mary in the front row in 70
Oh
millimeter.
man, I've seen the clips of Oppenheimer from the front row, and just crimson chin.
I watched Oppenheimer from the front row, and I watched Project Hail Mary from the front row. Amaze.
Shout out to that person on our subreddit.
Yeah.
All right.
Photo. I'll send it
We will
to you.
think about the trivia question. Answers at the end, like usual. We'll be right back.
Yeah, I don't think I can name all the planets. Still can't.
Support for the show comes from Monarch. Hard to believe it's already spring. That's mostly a good thing. The sunshine, the great defrosting, the spring cleaning. There's just one drawback: tax season. But breathe, it's going to be okay, especially if you use Monarch. Simplify your finances with Monarch. Monarch's the all-in-one personal finance tool designed to make your life easier. It brings your entire financial life, budgeting, accounts, and investments, net worth, and future planning all together in one dashboard on your phone or laptop. Feel aware and in control of your finances this tax season and get 50% off your Monarch subscription with code WAVE. And with their AI assistant, you'll get access to a 24/7 financial coach that can actually help you answer questions about personal spending trends or debt repayment, or in this case, where you might want to put your tax return. Achieve your financial goals for good with Monarch, the all-in-one tool that makes money management simple. Use code WAVE at monarch.com for half off your first year. That's 50% off at monarch.com, code WAVE. Support for the show comes from Zapier. So when it comes to incorporating AI into your workflows, there's a lot to consider and lots of trend chasing, but actually making it happen starts with the right tools like Zapier. Zapier is how you break the hype cycle and put AI to work across your company for real. It can help you actually deliver on your AI strategy, not just talking about doing it. Their AI orchestration platform allows you to bring the power of AI to any workflow so you can do more of what matters. You can connect top AI models like ChatGPT and Claude to whatever tools your team already uses so you can incorporate AI exactly where you need it. That could be workflows, an autonomous agent, a customer chatbot, or whatever else. You can orchestrate it all with Zapier, letting you do more with the rest of your time. And it's for everyone, tech expert or not. According to data from Zapier, teams have already automated over 300 million AI tasks using the platform. So join the millions of businesses transforming how they work with Zapier and AI. Get started for free by visiting zapier.com/wave. That's zapier.com/wave.
Whoa. Okay, this one says you get a free phone if you switch. Hey, this one also says you get a free phone if you switch.
Yeah, they all do, hon.
Wait. The T-Mobile one says families saved over $3,700 versus the other big guys in the past 5 years. And their experience plans have Netflix included, plus a year of Dash Pass by DoorDash.
Hang on, let me see that. And a 5-year price guarantee? Oh yeah, we're switching.
That's what I'm talking about. Do we clap now, or?
I'm thinking high five.
At T-Mobile, get savings that keep stacking up. That's value you can feel every day. Switch now at T-Mobile.
Savings based on Harris X billing snapshots from Q3 2021 to Q4 2025 among accounts with 3+ force lines compared to AT&T and Verizon, excluding discounts, credits, and optional charges. See harrisx.com/T-Mobile. Price guarantee on talk, text, and data. Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. See T-Mobile.com.
All right, welcome back. There is some news of a product that was killed, but not by Google.
Big day.
It was killed by OpenAI. It's called Sora.
Thank God.
Ring a bell? Anyone remember Sora from a couple months ago? I actually remember making a video when Sora first came out.
We've made 2, I think.
Yeah, 2 now at this point, of their video generation models.
Yeah.
You could generate models. You could generate video, slop, yeah. But it would get higher and higher quality over time. And I remember the first videos from Sora, they were, Will Smith eating spaghetti, but like higher fidelity than before. And it got better and better, and it cost more and more and more. And then OpenAI was like, this costs too much.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they made that realization, because there's other video generation models out there, but Sora was like the big one that everybody knows about from OpenAI, and they made the decision to kill the Sora app, and I assume the entire AI slop generator from top to bottom is now gone. They'll probably turn those GPUs towards something else that we're very excited about, maybe. But yeah, no more Sora.
Yeah, big day to dance on a grave.
I'm dancing, boy.
Yeah.
What's the meme of like? Is he giving the peace sign or the praying sign? Like
where he's like in front of the grave. Yeah, Sora was bad. The funny thing about this that we reported on when it happened was that Disney had made a $1 billion investment deal with OpenAI about Sora.
Oh, yeah.
And Disney said, we are going to invest $1 billion in OpenAI over X period of time. And Sora is going to be in the Disney Plus app with AI-generated versions of our characters that you can just sort of scroll through on the Disney Plus app as a sort of like little Disney TikTok feature. This never launched, and reportedly, the Sora engineers didn't even really know that Sora was getting killed. They even put out a guidelines as to like their safety standards about Sora the day before they announced that they were killing it, which is very funny. And now, that $1 billion deal is not happening. So OpenAI can't find money, and now they really can't find money.
I guess $1 billion is like pocket change for them.
I mean, I guess how much money were they burning in the process of
billions?
Yeah, probably more than that.
Yeah.
And also, one thing you should know is that pretty much every OpenAI deal is not real money. It's like the idea of money. Nothing ever really happens. Everyone's like, NVIDIA's like, we're investing $1 trillion in OpenAI, and they're like, what does that mean? And then they just sort of do jazz hands along the way. So
I don't know the speed limit there.
You know, none of these circular deals are inflating the stock market, and that's why you're seeing a lot of red.
I feel like a lot of them are like promises to invest over time or something.
Yeah, that's what the Disney one was. It was $1 billion investments over a period of time, and it didn't even start.
Yeah, no money had changed hands.
No money had changed hands.
Huge win.
So it's not happening.
Yeah.
David, I'm going to give you $1 billion over the next 3 years.
I hope my stock goes up.
Psych.
Yeah. So another funny thing about this is that Meta had acqui-hired a guy to lead the superintelligence lab, and the first product that they launched was an AI slop video generator that was supposed to compete with Sora. It was horrible, and I think they shut it down too. Hopefully, but this is good for everybody. Like, we don't need more AI slop. If you're ever on Twitter, there's a lot of fruits cheating on each other on there. I don't know if you've seen this.
Fruits?
Yeah, fruits. Yeah.
There's some weird stuff.
Wait, you guys haven't seen this?
I'm jealous of you guys.
I see mostly because you can do like the remixes with YouTube videos. Every once in a while, I'll go to one of our old videos to reference something, and I'll just be like, blah blah blah, remix with this video, and it's a short of like a pregnant cat.
Yeah, they're always pregnant.
And there's always like a pregnant cat and a dad cat, and they're like having a baby, and it's like your voice over the background.
Well, and the background music is always meow 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 meow. It's really bad. It's like I think it redefines
hallucination. Are you having?
It redefines the word slop. Like, really, it does.
Wow. It's also, this stuff makes a ton of misinformation out there.
For sure.
Not just straight slop.
Not just
like literal harmful videos.
Yeah. So I'm glad it's gone.
I'm glad I missed that.
Dance on the grave. Speaking of Instagram, Meta doing slop things, do you want to break this down?
Yeah, I'll try and break this down really quick.
Okay.
IG DMs are no longer going to be end-to-end encrypted by May 8th. This is kind of I think everyone knows what end-to-end encryption is. You and the recipient are the only ones who are able to see the message due to code
encryption.
Encryption, yeah.
Yeah.
That it has
encryption
to break.
Keys, yeah.
Keys.
Public and private keys.
So like this feels like a really big deal headline-wise, but like there's a couple weird things about this that make me confused. So I'm going to read out a couple of the reasons why I think, or they've said they're ending this encryption, and everyone can be the judge on why they think they really are ending it. So the way they announced this, first of all, Meta, is not like a full post. They updated a 2022 news post about encryption to say that encryption is ending on May 8th.
Whoa.
So 2 months away.
Variant.
And a couple reasons. One, a Meta spokesperson said that, which I didn't know about, the encryption is opt-in on Instagram, which I never knew about. I'm sure most people don't know about, and they said very, very few people on Instagram use encryption
because it's
opt-in. Because it's opt-in, exactly.
Yeah.
Poor
communication.
Not even just communication, just poor design. I mean, Meta probably doesn't want it to be encrypted because they want all of that. So yeah,
there's a lot of drama going on right now with like the EU and
that's
the UK. Yeah. Okay.
So the next point is FBI, Interpol, UK safety organizations are all urging Meta to break encryption because of child safety, because of how much Meta in general and Instagram specifically is essentially harming children in so many different ways, one of them being through DMs. And with encryption, if the correct people have the encryption on, it makes it really harder to find chat logs and stuff like that. So they're urging Meta to end encryption. Another thing is Meta is just not getting rid of encryption WhatsApp. They're telling people to just move to WhatsApp if you want encryption.
Just use WhatsApp,
messages.
bro.
They literally pulled the just use WhatsApp.
I hate this.
And then the last reason, which I think most of us can agree on, is Meta's favorite, but maybe the one they don't want to admit, is without encrypted DMs, they have the ability to use those DMs to target you with advertisements and train AI data on your messages, which The reason this is all kind of weird is it seems like most people aren't using it, so they're probably doing all of this anyways. But like the actual end to this is probably just saving them money because they don't have to run compute to
and
encrypt
saving them
anymore.
face with like all the public stuff.
It's really nice that they're having other people, like government agencies, tell them to remove it, so they can just be like, well, that's the reason we're removing it. Thanks for the training data. Thanks for the advertising. Yeah, that's kind of. I'll let everybody be the judge of how they want to see this story with encryption. But I think the thing to know here is if you really care about privacy and encryption, don't touch a Meta product.
Yeah,
that's like the easiest thing here. Is,
the #1 advertising company in the world.
Yeah, I think Meta realizes that like a lot of the DMs on Instagram, they mostly care about you sharing reels and sharing posts and pushing you to other parts of Instagram to spend more time on and gather more data to and spend more money. So they don't really care about this. WhatsApp is still encrypted if you want to use that, but I personally would just stay away from Meta products if I really cared about my privacy.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of which, they just announced yesterday as well that they're going to integrate sort of like buy now buttons into Reels. TikTok Shop has this, where you can be watching a reel or something, and then it will show a little like, you could buy this now, and it outlinks to a store. Of course. Instagram's going to add that, so...
YouTube Shorts has this already, probably. The like little product shelves.
Dude, on Amazon, what is they? Prime TV? Prime? What do they call it?
Video?
Prime Video, yeah. You'll be watching like Fallout or something, right? And then it cuts to an ad, and in the ad, there will be a purchase on Amazon button that you can just do straight. It's like, holy moly, we are... Because I only wanted to watch Fallout, and I haven't used Amazon Prime TV in like a really long time. And it's like, wow, we're in the dystopia where you can literally, the product is in your face, and there's just a one-click buy now and ship to me immediately button.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it
is so crazy.
The like UI on all these short form contents, how far are we away from it just feeling like the old annotation like scamming, where just there's like 20 different boxes up on your screen? Because we have all these different sets of guidelines for different short form, because depending on where you put text or something in a video, it's going to get covered by a username, an icon, the description, and like now we're adding shops and stuff. This is already a really small form factor of what we're watching. There's not a lot of real estate there, so adding all of that on is
it's crazy.
We're just not even going to watch videos anymore.
It's okay. They're pushing you to use Instagram on the iPad because all they want you to do on that is watch reels anyway, and then you won't misclick because it's a bigger screen. Wow,
true. Big brain.
Got him. Kind of related, the U.S. government has officially banned consumer routers made outside of the United States, which, by the way, pretty much all of them.
Yeah, essentially all. The only one I can really think of that's not is Starlink, because that's made in Texas.
Is that a router?
Yes.
I guess.
But sort of. Like, it's not what you would think of in the general sense of like a router when you already have an ISP and you're using it as a router in your house.
Yeah.
So like similar to banning drones made in foreign countries, the FCC is adding consumer-grade routers made outside of the U.S. to a covered list. And if you're not sure what that is, the covered list is a list that the FCC and Homeland Security Bureau use to add devices that, quote, pose an unacceptable risk to the national security of the United States or the security and safety of U.S. persons. Like you just mentioned, we're all pretty familiar with where technology is manufactured. It's not in the U.S.
Not here.
And like,
it's not here.
Seriously, it's got to be 90+% of routers.
Dude, I mean,
are made outside of the U.S.
I'm just looking up I'm going one by one to look through all the router companies that
they're all like Taiwanese.
They're all not made here.
But even some of them might be stationed or like headquartered in the U.S. They're still not manufactured in the U.S.
Yeah.
So like, first of all, if you already own a router, doesn't meet this criteria, it's going to work fine. But the new ones then coming into the United States will be put on a list where the radios won't be authorized.
It's just insane. Like, it's so isolationist to say anyone not made in the United States.
I think that's wild.
Like, it would be more understandable if it was like from specific countries that the government deems to be adversaries or whatever. But the fact that it is not in the it's like, I cannot name a single router company that is based in the United States. They probably exist, but they are not mass market.
I think TP-Link is now headquartered in California.
They're probably made in Taiwan. Yeah, or Vietnam.
I forget exactly where they are. A lot of ones I was finding were made in Vietnam, but still that is just straight up foreign country that is not the U.S.
What does this do for like IP or
ISPs? That's exactly what I was thinking. Like, what Xfinity? My guess right now is Xfinity, Verizon probably have just a boatload of routers in a warehouse somewhere that they're the ones sending to you, but like that needs to update it.
Well, I also know that there's sort of a workaround you can do where like all of the parts are basically made outside of the US, and then like there was a thing that the thing that some companies were doing for a while where it was like all the parts but one were already assembled, and then they would ship all the parts and that one part to the United States, and they would put it in the thing, and they'd be like, made in the United States.
Well, there's like guidelines for made in the USA or assembled in the USA. Like there's things that they need to, like more than 60%.
Oh yeah, like the Trump phone, right? Like the Trump phone,
exactly.
yeah, made in the US. No, not even.
Also with the not Verizon, Xfinity routers and stuff, does that count? Because this says consumer.
Yeah, I'm a consumer. So consumer they define as for residential use and installed by the customer.
Installed by the customer. Okay, but
any Xfinity router you can have just shipped to you, and I can
okay, that's what I was going to ask.
I mean, maybe it's a weird thing where the way they're
the company's the one buying them in bulk, so I don't know if this would like apply to them. You know,
the fact that they say consumer grade, I think it's less of consumer bought and consumer grade. Again, it's kind of weird. What they're doing is either companies can apply for like an extension to be allowed into the United States if they're proving that they're working on creating a manufacturing aspect in the United States to pass that.
I've seen
Stupid.
That.
Nobody's
We've tried this so many times, it doesn't work. Or like similar to what DJI does, the company's just not going to release it in the US for X amount of time until this either stops or just not care.
Have we seen companies like buy a building, like an old manufacturing plant in the US, and then just slap a label on it and be like, we're gonna for sure make stuff here.
Yeah,
and Fox. Okay, you're good.
They do a big groundbreaking thing in Arizona, and they're like, look at all these jobs, and then just leave them empty.
The United States is claiming the routers were directly implicated in the Volt, Flax, and Salt Typhoon cyber attacks, which were a set of cyber attacks a while ago.
Yeah, but I'm confused because the Salt Typhoon ones was about Cisco routers.
Okay, so this is the funny thing.
It's United States?
Well, it's just like, why? Like,
they were Cisco and Netgear routers that were designed by U.S. companies, but the reason they were vulnerable is because the companies stopped providing updates for them. So they were unupdated security risk routers, which has nothing to do with who made them.
Yeah.
It has to do with who's continuing the software up there. So this is like saying, hey, hackers targeted vulnerable things because they're vulnerable and probably shouldn't be used or should have been updated anymore. That has nothing to do with the fact. I get that there is like foreign countries that maybe we're worried about stuff like this, but this feels like a blanket ban that is not actually helping anything.
Heavy-handed government intervention in tech? No.
No. It's so the residential thing I'm really confused about, because I'm also confused there is, if the main thing we're trying to protect is like government agencies and government information stuff, like maybe government shouldn't be using residential. That's what the ban should be. Government should stop using residential grade routers in like buildings or the ones made in these certain companies. But like, why do I need?
Or have one.
Why does that make a difference if I'm using?
Or have one U.S. company like make a government grade one.
Yeah,
or, like like change one of the routers to be government grade. Add features.
I think in theory the reason it matters if you have one, Andrew, is that you are sort of inherently plugged into your telecom company's network, and like that is who all of these attacks were against. We're getting into telecom companies' networks. I don't know quite enough about this whole thing.
There's obviously so much more going on than what we're saying here, but it still feels like this wild blanket ban that doesn't really.
No, I agree. And also watch. This is, me predicting the future, but watch Oracle launch a new line of US-based routers.
Wait.
Next few days.
Oh my god, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. No. I haven't. This is not a thing that's happened.
I know, but it will. You know it will, and they'll be called Freedom Router.
Yeah.
So the cyber attacks were also on like energy, transportation, and water infrastructure stuff as well. So it's not just straight up communications, although those were in there. I guess saying the router was directly implicated, I was like, well, yeah, it was online. It has to go through a router. But it's because those routers were missing their security updates and had vulnerabilities, which is like, yes, if things on the internet have vulnerabilities, people are going to attack them. And they shouldn't, but...
I really don't know enough about this, but it's always been my understanding that, like, a big part of what routers are doing are, like, assembling these packets that are going out over, and so if they're putting, like, a router with malware on it can put
for sure
stuff in a packet that can make it pretty deep inside a network.
Yeah.
That is, like, the most, like, middle schooler friendly way I can describe network communication.
That's why Cisco was supposed to prevent this. That's their whole thing.
Yeah.
They do B2B.
It wasn't him. Is that Cisco?
No.
What? Is that a rapper too?
Damn it.
Shaggy, yeah.
That's not the first time you've made that mistake.
Wait, this confuses me because I feel like if a company in the US made routers and those routers were not updated and weren't patched over time, they would also be susceptible to these attacks.
Yes.
Correct. So what does this do?
I don't know. It's just they're going after the wrong I don't know. I imagine
that is a very popular attack vector.
I imagine it is all a bunch of like bull to just try to. They're so obsessed with stimulating American manufacturing, but they don't understand like the amount of work that it requires to actually build an entire business in the U.S. making various things, like routers. Like, how often do people buy routers? You know?
Once every 5 to 10 years.
It's just...
most people never buy a router.
Yeah, they rent it from their telecom.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Counterpoint, David, if you had 1 million Optimus robots, you could make them for free whenever you wanted.
You know,
think about that?
Think about that. How much would an Optimus robot cost me?
It costs, $0
You can't
just made
afford
by
nothing.
other Optimus robots.
How much would it cost me, though?
I don't think you're allowed to have one.
Then how am I going to get my router?
Send the robo-taxi for it.
I'll just use Starlink. Yeah. So, we want to talk about this because it was kind of hot news in the journalism world this week. Effectively, you guys probably know Grammarly, and there was also an app called Superhuman, and then Grammarly bought Superhuman, and now Grammarly is Superhuman, and Grammarly is a product of Superhuman. That's your breakdown.
Confusing at all?
Not confusing at all. Multiple months ago, but only discovered fairly recently, people discovered this feature within Grammarly that effectively gives you advice based on various different writers that are well known in the writing world or like the tech writing world or things like that. So if you were writing an article or you were writing, I don't know, anything you're writing, you could say like, hey, what would Nilay Patel think about this writing that I'm doing?
So funny.
Yes.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
I don't know if it was necessarily you asked Nilay Patel, but it was like if you asked a question about writing an article and it would say like, oh, it was called expert review, and something would come up as an expert is here to give you an example, and that example would pop up as like, I can't believe I'm saying this out loud, but it said Nilay Patel and with a verified check mark like Twitter,
which
just
is
sitting there for no reason.
No reason.
And then it would say like,
not verified.
It would give some piece of advice, and then to their credit, it would say like, this is inspired by Vergecast hosts and Verge editor-in-chief Nilay Patel because of blah blah blah. Have a source button, and then first of all, no one's going to click that source button. That doesn't count. So yeah, that's what a verified checkmark Nilay Patel would pop up and say.
Yeah.
Hey, not just him, a bunch of other journalists.
And it would also do line edits too. Like if you had, it would like make suggestions based on your writing. And they were like, oh yeah, we pulled specific like pieces of work from various different journalists, and then we put it in this AI model, and now it can make suggestions. And it's like, that's just not how this works at all. Like, it's insane. And this feature has been deployed for multiple months, but people only found it recently. So,
well, no, it was deployed. It took a while for people to go. It's gone now. They took it away.
It was found recently by like it blew up.
I think a few months. I think last year.
Grammarly had added this feature late last year. Not a lot of people were using it. No one really noticed it. And then recently, it kind of popped up in the media because people started noticing it, and all these people started writing about it because the people that were writing about it were the people it was impersonating, effectively. Every article was like, this is impersonating authors, including me! It was kind of crazy. Yeah. So, funny enough, Nilay has this podcast called Decoder. He had already scheduled to have the Superhuman / Grammarly CEO on like the following week. And to that guy's credit, he actually did go on Decoder to talk to Nilay about it, and the interview was very tense.
From the get-go.
From the get-go.
From the start, yeah.
And so it became this whole kind of argument about what is attribution versus what is just stealing and using someone's likeness. And the CEO really just defends the idea that it's attribution. He talks about, oh, there's a link that you can go to, and it clearly says that, oh, this is inspired by this person, but like it had the check mark.
The check mark is you can't defend it when you do, because everyone knows what the check mark means. In every other context, it means this is verified from this person.
Right.
If it's on social media, the check mark means this is definitely the person you think it is.
Whoa,
why did they put a check mark here? They put a check mark here to convince you that this is legit and this is definitely, like, they're not trying to necessarily convince you that this is actually the human editing your work, but they get about as close to that as possible. And it's definitely impersonation.
You can't convince me otherwise that it's not attempting to trick a person into thinking this is for real. I don't care what he said in that interview. I know it says at the like under that inspired by, but to put the check mark in is just straight up lying.
Yeah. There is a class action lawsuit going on, which is I think why the CEO couldn't really say a lot, because then it could be used against him in court. And it's insane to me that he would even do the interview when he knows Nilay is very combative about these kind of things.
Yeah. Well, then if he doesn't go on the interview, then the article is about how he pulled out of the interview.
Yeah, then it looks even worse.
Yeah. So it's either do you get that?
I don't think that looks worse.
He made himself look worse in that interview, for sure.
Yeah, he made himself look worse. We definitely recommend that you go listen to this or watch it. It's both on their podcast feed.
Watch it,
yeah.
Seeing facial expressions in it is well worth it.
Yeah, it's true.
Also, the CEO's whatever laptop he's using should be blown up, because the wobble of the screen as he's talking, you're just watching him the whole time.
It was a touch screen, Andrew.
If you watch it at 1.5x screens, it looks like he's in the middle of an earthquake. It's wild.
Yeah. This really reminds me of when we had these conversations about these AI image generators and video generators, where if you would just put in like tech reviewer, like Marquez would just show up. You know, it reminds me of the whole like, who's in this training data? How are they stealing it?
Didn't we do that recently?
It was a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
It was Sora.
Well, there was Sora, but there was also like Gemini. There was there was early ChatGPT stuff.
There was something a few weeks ago where I literally put in like a tech reviewer and it just popped out Marquez.
Oh yeah. When we were out South by Southwest, I said add a tech reviewer to this photo, and it just added Marquez, and then it said, but it did say I've added MKBHD. That's the same thing. It's like likeness versus.
The weird thing about this is Nilay was looking at. So the reason the interview is so good is because like there's personal stakes. Like it's literally impersonating Nilay. So he's the one interviewing, which makes it much more tense. But like what the suggestion it wrote says, it's from like using his body of work at The Verge and Vergecast. He's like, I would never say anything like this. I've never said anything ever like this. So it just feels like straight up lying. To the credit of the CEO, he said, like, this didn't work out really well. How are we supposed to get into the mind of an editor by only using the final published works?
Great question.
You can't. I know. Exactly.
Maybe you can't.
And that's what they killed it, which I'm glad they got rid of it. But that's just impersonation and lying at that point. Who's to say that couldn't have just been like an AI software where Marquez Brownlee pops up, verified checkmark, and says a piece of advice that Marquez doesn't believe in at all. Windows is the best editing for 8K videos. Like, I love my Windows laptop. And then all it has to say is inspired by Marquez Brownlee's body of work he's an 20 million tech reviewer, blah, blah, blah. Source.
I made it.
Trust me, bro. Trust me, bro.
It's very trust me, bro, and also using the likeness of someone else to prove credibility. And
I don't see how you ship this feature and not think it's going to blow up in your face. Because in the best case version of this feature, it's
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please
this feature, it's like, wow, we're gonna have testimonials of people going like, I love this product because it lets me get my work checked by these professionals, and the professionals going, no. obviously, I would not. That's like not what I would have done.
He said the reason the small team. He kept saying small team because he sounds like he wants to not throw that many people under the bus, which he should be under the bus because he ultimately approves it as CEO. But like, if you are, he keeps saying, you as the person, like you might want, like Grammarly is supposed to be your language arts teacher sitting right there and helping you make decisions. So he's like, this is a version where some experts you really respect might be right there helping you make corrections into something.
I was like, but I wouldn't make those.
But I wouldn't make those. I'm not there. It's like, yeah, the reason we like all these people is the like personal connection we have to them personally. I don't want an AI just pretending they're them. This is basically, you're getting catfish.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, Neil even said his line edits are usually just like, feels messy, and that's the whole thing, you know.
Anyone who's ever had an editor knows that it's not very coherent thoughts.
No, it's just a lot of back and forth. And
I can't wait until Final Cut adds a Marquez editor, and then like I make a J cut, and it's like, great job, Marquez would have done this too.
Yeah, that feels bad.
It could happen.
It feels bad.
I think Grammarly took the wrong route with this product. I think instead of like people like, obviously Nilay, great writer, people love his writing, but I think they should have gone with people who are known for being unbelievably opinionated writers and just force like I want to be writing an email to like Marquez about our health insurance plan or something like that. And then Grammarly's like, and then a little AI Slavoj Zizek, the Slovenian philosopher, pops up and is like, but what does this email have to do with the struggle of the self? And I'm like,
I'd like that.
Yes, distract me. Susan Sontag comes up and is like, where are the mentions of gender? You know, Hector Berlioz pops up and is like, Ellis, you mentioned nothing about Beethoven's terrible use of the French horn.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think Clippy could have done any of that.
Clippy could have done that.
Clippy could have done all of that.
That's what you need. Stop replicating actual people and giving them that attribution is such a bold argument.
Yeah, free advice to any CEO: if you run a company that does any sort of AI product and your goal is to have it replace people in any way, think a little harder about how you think that's going to go.
Yeah,
just a little harder.
Just hire a funny guy.
Yeah.
Take some accountability. All of them just seem to be like, oh, well, if the models we're using are gonna like pull up the work of blah 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 and they're gonna use that, then that's what the models are gonna do. Shut the f up, dude. Are you serious?
Yeah. I mean, pretty much every AI CEO makes the argument that this is just an average of like a bunch of stuff, so it's not copying everything, it's just making new content based on like every AI CEO is like, well, you could have read all of Nilay's writing and then edited like him, and it's like, no, you can't. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works.
Learning. And also, like, it sounds like it's so funny that the one example they're arguing over the whole time is a bad, like, just straight up didn't work in the voice at all.
Yeah,
which makes it look even worse.
I think the flaw with that logic would be thinking that all of Nilay's thoughts and experience that he's ever had exists in a training data set.
Yeah,
which as a human with their own thoughts and experiences that they have not submitted to a training data set, no.
I mean, ultimately that's what people in Silicon Valley generally think. Like, they think that you can model everything. They think that with enough information, with enough data, with enough training, you could simulate everything, you know? And so they're like, maybe you can, but we're not even close to that yet.
Yeah,
you know?
That's probably why this interview is so good, because one of the people who you think you have enough data from, and it's like, no, you just don't have enough data, and frankly, I don't want you to have enough data to simulate who I am.
Right, because you're not paying him.
Because the data that Nilay's brain was trained on are things like his childhood, like things that you can't, like, you can't do that, bro. It doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly. So, until you put it in a vat.
No.
Go listen to the interview. It's fantastic.
Well, watch the interview.
Or watch.
So you can get like seasickness. Yeah.
Also part of the Vox Media Podcast Network.
VMP. Yeah, true. Baby. Okay. Well, I think we're going to take it to one more ad break. But
and then I'm going to yap about a mouse again afterwards.
That's right. We love mice. Yes. We love mice. We love Ellis yapping about speakers.
Yeah. To the one person that has read Hector Berlioz's treatise on orchestration other than me, I hope you enjoyed my little reference.
He's famous. I'm sure a lot of people did.
I don't know who that is.
Alice, I agree with everything you say and love everything you say about audio, and I've never interrupted you once about it.
It's this part of it's this composer who wrote a book about how to write for all the instruments a long time ago, and he was really angry, and there's this whole passage in the French horn section where instead of talking about how to write for French horn, he just goes into this giant beef with Beethoven, and he's like, that guy, Beethoven sucked at French horn. He was a coward on the French horn. It's very fun to read.
Oh, wait. Oh, sorry.
I did not.
Ellis.
That was a soundboard. That was not me.
Sorry, Ellis, I forgot you were talking. What were you No, that's interesting.
I did that to Andrew in the weekly meeting yesterday, where he said something, and then immediately I was like, "Well, what about this thing that Andrew just said?" And then I had to DM and say, "I'm sorry, did you say something?"
Karma. That was karma.
Karmic retribution. Okay,
right.
Next question. Well,
Okay.
next question. Question number 2.
Yeah.
What year? And we're doing closest without going over. Yeah. What year did Apple release Apple Maps? Oh.
Was that the
you
year?
have access to the dock. Wait, don't look. I want you to guess too.
Was that that was the year that people were driving into the lakes, right?
I know
I remember how poorly the launch went. I gotta remember the year. Okay.
There's a joke in
This is a
Silicon Valley, the
WWDC
show.
announcement.
Yeah.
It was a dub announcement.
I'm pretty sure.
In Silicon Valley, the show, they're doing like a control group, and they're like, "Oh, this is bad." And he goes, "How bad? Apple Maps bad?"
Sick.
That is the bar.
One more mouse thing to talk about.
I'll make it quick.
We'll be right back.
Hey, Nina.
Hello.
Hey.
Sorry, I was doing laundry.
It's okay. I'm headed home. I still have to wait an hour before I call out. But they let me go early, even though I'm not going to clock out because I still want to get paid until 5, like they said. Also, the lady wasn't happy that everything I did there was stuff that she already does every day. She was like, I'm upset, not with you, but the fact that they're paying someone like you to come down here when I do this shit every day. I said, yep, that's how corporate America is. They made me wear like the hospital, like I'd wear like a lab coat and shit. I also had to wear something on my arm. I sent you a picture. Kind of looks like one of those like swastika things you kind of put on your arm when you're wearing white.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't remember
But
that.
anyway, no, I have to look. Yeah, I just had like an ID and everything, so I had to get checked.
Okay. Just give me a sec to focus with you. 'Cause I am getting ready to head out.
What do you think? Do you think I get a $4 pizza today? Also, I work tomorrow. I didn't want to accept it, but they're giving me like $45 an hour to do like nothing at Hannaford. So I'm like, I'll do it. I'll lose the unemployment for this week, but it's fine.
Hannaford restaurant. Oh, sorry. Hannaford. Grocery store. Yeah, I was getting there. Thank God.
Hannaford restaurant.
Set up.
Cumberland Farms. Cumberland Farms restaurant. We still never went to Cumberland Farms, Nina. Sit down and eat, but you know.
Why would we do that?
Cumberland Farms?
Yeah. I'd get sick to my stomach.
Why?
Because it's not a place to sit down and eat at.
I don't think there's actually anywhere to sit down and eat there.
I know. No, it's a gas station.
Oh yeah, that's what. I forgot they don't have those in Canada.
It's a nasty gas station. It's not even a 7-Eleven. It is. I would eat at a 7-Eleven. I know I'm gonna get sick, but I would eat at a 7-Eleven.
There's some decent
stuff. Cumberland Farms? Somebody asked me to go eat at Cumberland Farms? Hell no.
You said, oh yeah? You said, hell yeah.
I was so happy because I thought maybe there's a small Vermont pancake place that has food. I was like, yeah, P, let's go to Cumberland Farms. And I passed by, so I was, there's a gas station.
It's a good thing we didn't take you because you would have dressed up.
I would have dressed up. I would have done my makeup for an hour, put all my jewelry just to go to a gas station. I would be so pissed.
Good thing I showed you before we went. Good thing I showed you before we went. But no, there is decent stuff there. They have like the rollers.
There is not decent stuff. Leave me the fuck alone. There's not decent stuff.
Drinks. Okay. They make food.
There is no. Just you have a 7-Eleven. Just take me to a 7-Eleven.
7-Eleven's far away.
I don't care. Or you have a Stewart's.
Stewart's, yeah.
Yes, I would rather go there because the lady there is always nice to me, calls me pretty, and there's a whoopie pie if I want one. I don't really like them as much anymore for some reason, but if I want one,
Whoopie pie festival in the.
I know it's coming this September.
No, you're not going no more. You said you don't want to go.
Do you think we could make it?
You should be able to make it, yeah.
Yeah. How far is it? Where is it at?
Also, I was thinking we could go. Mom wants to go on vacation again this year. She doesn't know if she wants to go on a cruise or go somewhere else. I said maybe me and you will go. If we have time.
We're supposed to go alone though, me and her.
You and Mom?
So who? Yeah. So who is she inviting?
Bailey, Sam, Bella, baby me.
No! Oh my god! I'm so done with your mom. I'm so done with her. I told her no kids because she doesn't get to enjoy herself. I said let's have like a
No, she wants to do a family vacation. Is what she said.
No, I told her.
She's like, I want to go. She's like, maybe. She's like, maybe a cruise. She said maybe a cruise.
Yeah, y'all are not. Y'all are not about to put me on no boat with a bunch of rednecks. I would be the only pirate on that ship. I'm still cooked when they come first. No, thank you. I'm the captain now. Anyways. No! It's supposed to be me and her. We're supposed to get drunk. It's supposed to be like a girl shit. Fuck them kids. Them kids are annoying. And I was like, fuck Bryce. He's been annoying me. It's just supposed to be us. What do you mean this is what I hate about moms. And this is why I don't want to become a mom. Because I've seen it happen to every single woman. Our kids have to go everywhere. Our kids have to go everywhere with us.
Well, no, Bailey's like, and then Bailey was a little mean though. Because said, well, we go to Florida. Grandpa's down there. He's like, I don't want to go there just to visit Grandpa. I'm like, bruh. And then he's like,
but it's not just to visit. It's not just to visit Grandpa. It's not. It's so fun.
I know, and he's like, so you go to Busch Gardens. And he's like, what's Busch Gardens? I'm like, well, Nina said it's like her hometown.
We ain't going to Busch Gardens again. We ain't going to Busch Gardens again. Piss me the fuck off. There was nothing there. Do you know why?
Do you know why it was so cheap to get in? It's because everything was closed, Nina. That's why it was so cheap. Why did you, Nina? Did you see all those stands where there was like stuffed animals and like in those stands? It's supposed to be full of like games and everything, but they were all closed.
Babe, it had nothing to do with anything being closed. Even if they were open, it still would have been mediocre.
The rides were so funny.
Yes, the experience I had in Kenya at a Kenyan zoo, compared to the experience we had at Busch Gardens, I was treated like a president. The animals were walking around. A monkey was right next to me.
Well, they had that stuff. They have that stuff.
No, they didn't.
Not there. We have. That's separate. That's separate, Nina. That's not what we paid for, though. We paid for the walk around.
No, if we paid to play with animals, it's domesticated animals, right?
Well,
the animals I was playing with were not domesticated. Like I said, I had a fun time because that monkey chased me around and I was screaming. And I got attacked by a giraffe. See, that's what I paid for.
They have zoos like that. We just didn't do that because Grandpa, they didn't understand the rides and shit.
No, it's okay. I had a really great time because
that was still funny though. That Grandpa didn't know it was a ride.
It was funny. Also, next time I visit, I'm going to Disneyland.
We could have gone to Disneyland. Nina, Grandpa gave you the option for Disneyland.
And I didn't take it.
You had the option and you said no.
Yes, but listen, Disneyland or Busch Gardens. Busch Gardens seems like my sort of thing. I was like,
we showed you pictures, and I said, Nina, you sure you don't want to go to Disneyland?
The pictures look nice.
Yeah, it was nice. We just went in when it was closed.
But no, I'm more of a Disney girl. Like, I want to walk around with Mickey Mouse ears and a 2-liter soda.
Yeah, you could have done that, but you know.
And I want to wear a crop top and my stomach gets big. And I want to go see Mickey Mouse. I have an idea.
What?
You guys leave me at Disneyland, buy me like a Tiana dress, and goodbye.
Okay.
You'll never see me again. I hate watching my friends.
But I'm gonna get a pizza on the way home. The cheap pizzas, the Tony's.
You and your... Like, you know what, Gracie?
I'm gonna get one. I have food coming in the mail. I have, on Amazon, I ordered more tortillas.
No.
I know. I'll use the healthy bread first we have at home. I'll use the wheat bread if we don't, because we haven't had any bread. We've only had white bread. And I was like, what's healthier, tortillas or white bread? Probably tortillas.
No, I'm talking about whenever you get pizza. You know I don't share with you, right?
And then I know, we'll start getting different pizzas. I was looking online, Amazon, they don't sell any...
No, because pizza's supposed to be a treat. We're supposed to have pizza maybe like once every 2 weeks instead of...
But baby, this is a $4 pizza.
I'm gonna cook it for you.
Yes, I want to make a home pizza.
I'm gonna cook it for you. I have something important to tell you.
I want a home pizza, Nina.
I wanted to tell you this. Did you see the girl that died because of the Alani drinks?
No, I didn't see that. She probably took too many.
No, I wanted to tell your guy and his family. She was literally drinking it. She didn't take too many as in like overdose on them, but she was drinking like 2 a day. Like Alani drink is supposed to be 18 plus to drink 1 a day.
That's not good for your heart, that's why.
And I started doing deep research on it, and there are people who aren't dead, but who have 1 a day who now stop because they've had issues.
It's not the Alanis, though. It's the caffeine, baby. 200 milligrams of caffeine is not good for...
I know, but isn't Bella, like, not even 18 years old? I know.
Yeah, she's not even 18 yet. Because no one stops her. That's why I'd rather have people have Monsters, because they're so much bigger and there's less caffeine.
But no, you guys looked at me like I was crazy when I was like, my niece...
Sam drinks a Monster, like, takes him a day almost to drink a Monster.
Okay, but Monsters is still bad because she still has to be
bad, but they're way less than an Alani.
She still has to be
Alanis are small little drinks. You can take a sip of that and it's done.
I was going to send your mom the video, but I got you send it to her because, by the way, this girl was active as hell. She was a cheerleader, right? She died right on the spot. Literally.
Then send it to mom. Send it to Bella.
No, I don't want her to think Auntie's telling her how to care, so you're sending it.
Okay, fine. I'll tell her that Nina said you need to...
No!
Okay, the dude I was talking to about the Teslas, because I had talked to people about cars there. One of the ladies, I can tell she doesn't really like them, but the other guy, I convinced her to get Starlink, though. She said she lives out in the middle of nowhere. She would really like it, and I said, yes, get it. The guy I talked to about cars, though, he wants them. He's still on the edge about them. But he told me I was being pretty cheap, spending 20 grand. He's like, you can spend 50 grand on a car. And I'm like, maybe. He's like, it was going to last you. I'm like, we'll see.
Sorry, I'm listening, trying to find the videos for you to send to your mom, but what are you saying about that lady who lives alone somewhere far away?
She doesn't live alone, she just lives far away, and she doesn't have good coverage or anything, so I told her she should get Starlink like me.
Did you know we have Starlink in Canada?
Someone's computer stopped upstairs. I'm gonna ask him how this Wednesday sounds good. Wait a second. Does Wednesday sound good? Question mark. I gotta apply for more jobs this week. Also, all the tech jobs that I want are basically gone, baby, by the way.
They can't all be gone.
No, I'm serious.
Who took them all?
Yes, it does. I'm gonna say what time. What time?
I had an allergic reaction to my earrings because they're not titanium, but they're not supposed to be, what's the other thing I'm allergic to? Where am I allergic to?
Okay, remind me, 10 or 11, I gotta help that old lady. Let's see if I have her address. I might need to pull up her address. I'm so on edge, babe, about the new car, bro. I don't need it. I'm too greedy. I don't need shit. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, text her. I'm gonna tell her I don't have her address saved, so don't talk. What's your address again? I don't seem to have it saved. Maybe I can sell her some Starlink stuff or maybe some computer stuff. That'd be great. I don't know if he has a MacBook. I think I tried to get him to buy a MacBook. Maybe he does own a Mac. I think he does own a Mac. We'll see. This guy, older guy. I forgot they existed. I'm gonna try to sell them on some Starlink. Because I don't know if they're getting... Not to, like, make money, but, like... to save them money, because I don't know how much they're paying for Wi-Fi right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They also own their own farm, so.
Oh, I love that. I love farm. I love farm.
Nina's always trying to go to a farm.
Yeah.
Grandpa's camp this summer. We should go up, Nina.
I'm just coming to see Grandpa before I see you, remember?
No, he's gonna be in Vermont, and we should spend time with him in Vermont.
No!
Work on a project.
I told Grandpa do not come to Vermont. We'll go together and stay at your house.
We gotta see him this summer, you know.
I didn't get to hang out with Ricky as much. We're supposed to go get sushi. I was supposed to meet all the other old people.
But no, we'll be spending a lot of time, probably like every other weekend with Grandpa at least, because when he's in Vermont, he gets pretty lonely to talk to people and stuff.
Every other weekend, I'm packing my backpack. The fuck?
We can go. Whatever. I'm saying we drive up there every weekend because we have to work all week.
I don't have to work for a while, so goodbye to you.
Baby.
I don't have to stay with you.
Well, we could stay up there, but
there's no we. I'm gonna be like a grandchild. Grandpa will drop me off at your doorstep when I want to come see you. I'm serious.
If you get a license, you'll be able to drive back and forth, you know. We're supposed to have that, you know.
I'm supposed to wait a year anyways. Aren't you happy that I even got my permit?
I'm happy, but you gotta get your license, babe. That's why I want you to get like a Tesla, because like you get your license, right? And then no. But listen to me. You get your license, and then you can take my Tesla. It'll make it pink, and then listen to me, babe.
You know your girl. I'm not.
It does it drives itself, and it's less stress for you, so you don't stress out as much.
I'll let it drive me to the ocean.
And you can say, Tesla, bring me home. Yeah. Tesla, bring me to go get a burger, cheeseburger. And it's like, okay, we'll go get a cheeseburger, and it brings you to the cheeseburger place.
Did he just say cheeseburger?
Shut up. That's what you say, so I'm copying.
He said cheeseburger. So in Canada, you have to wait a year until you could take the test to get your license.
Okay, but you have to drive. So.
I have to wait until March, but there's no point in waiting until March, so I'm gonna be there.
Yeah, just start driving, Nina.
I'm trying, but I can't.
Why?
No one's gonna give me their car, and I have to pay $300 for an instructor's car.
No, you have to use someone else's car. You have to use your family's car. They have to be nice enough.
No, nobody wants me to crash it.
The issue with 2 here, Bailey brought up a big point. If I get caught with you driving, because I'm underage, if I let you drive with me in the car, because I'm not old enough, I have to be like 24 to let you drive with me. So if I let you,
your driver rules suck.
If I'm not old enough, so I let you drive, and I get caught, I lose my license, and you lose your ability to get a license for a while.
So why would we do that ever?
So mom's gonna sit in the car with you? Well, I tell you from the back seat how to drive.
No, this is my plan. You wanna know my plan?
What?
So because I'm not going to be here long enough, and I'd rather not waste $300. I'd rather save it for the Montreal trip. So that's why I haven't been paying for lessons for anything. For my GED, I haven't been paying for lessons. I've been studying on my own. Like last night, I studied like I just found out, by the way, you could take it by sections. So I could just take like math alone, and if I fail, pay. Anyway, so I was doing sections. I'm not on math yet. I'm still like on English. So it was the same. I was like, I'd rather save and not pay an instructor for anything and do it myself. So when I get there, it depends on your guys' state. So when I get there, either they let me keep my let me keep my permit.
There might be a free instructor thing. We can reach out to the government and see if.
Let me talk. Oh my god! I put my ear thingy. So either they let me keep it, or I have to retake the learners.
The test is online, so.
That's a stupid part. Your guys' stuff is so easy.
No, I did it in person, and I had to stand in front of a thing, and I had to do the test and everything. Here, they let you do it online, but you can't drive by yourself, Nina.
And then you also have the thing where you have to be how old?
24, I think.
Huh?
I think it's like 24 or 25.
Exactly. Over here, Abdi could teach me. Did you know that?
Abdi doesn't have a license.
He does. He has class 5.
He does.
He has the 5, which means he could teach me. I'm allowed to sit with him. He's allowed to teach me. It doesn't matter. You can literally be 17 and teach someone who's 21 as long as you have the 5. Does that make sense?
Yeah, here it's.
So I was like, oh shit, Breezy can't teach me.
We
So
never get caught, but I still want to teach you.
No.
Yes,
you know who you're dating. No.
Oh yes,
no.
I have to teach you, Nina.
No, we're not jeopardizing that. So I was thinking.
I'm not gonna jeopardize it. Mom can still sit in the front, but she's gonna be quiet, and I'm gonna be teaching you.
No.
Mom's not teaching you, bro. She's not a good driver.
No, when I get there, our finances won't be as scary because I'll be over there. And can we just pay someone to help me instead?
We'll use the government resources, like I think they did. I think like I got additional training because Mom was like, "Hey, I know you're scared to drive. Let's get you additional training," which I did with a lady. She also was the same lady that like backed into the. She also like backed into the trash cans, like almost twice, getting in our driveway. She like ran into them.
You know why it's better for someone to teach us? Because at least I'm not damaging one of your guys' car. You don't understand me.
No, if you damage someone's car, you still have to pay.
I'm gonna crash. No.
Nina, you can't crash the car. Nina, you're gonna. Okay, you know what you're gonna do? I'm gonna put a VR headset on you, right? And you're gonna get a steering wheel that I have in my room, the steering wheel setup I have, and you're gonna have your own pedals, and you're gonna wear You're gonna either stare at the screen, or you're gonna wear the VR headset and you're gonna drive in a simulator. Is what you're gonna do.
You do not remember when I took
No, babe, that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna drive in a simulator.
Do you not remember when we went to Busch Gardens and I played that card game and I was like flying everywhere?
That was you genuinely trying.
It was me genuinely trying. And Mr. Bob Hammond was like, oh my fucking god. Grandma liked it because Grandma knows how to feel like that, but Bob Hammond was like, hell no.
Hell no. So Nina, but no, there's a simulator.
I'm serious.
No, I'm serious. We'll get the simulator at my house. I can even hook it up to a real car if you want to hook up to a real car, and I'll get like the pedals going and stuff.
You need to understand it's not on purpose. Just sometimes my anxiety overtakes and like my hands get shaky.
It's okay.
And then, like you remember when you were driving the golf caddy thingy?
Yep. You can also practice in my car. My car is a
I know, but
beach buggy.
remember how you're like, Nina, take your foot off the take your foot off the gas, and I wouldn't. That's my body getting stuck. I don't like that. That's why I was like, That's why I want you to do like me, self-driving, so that like the car like does most of the work, and you just do it here and there. I don't want to rely on self-driving.
You're not relying. I can touch the wheel anytime and take over. But I want it to like, because I don't trust. It's a safer driver than you. That's the reason why.
You're an annoying driver. That's what
no. It drives safer than you. Why would you want to drive when the car drives better than you?
Because I human need to learn to drive.
Yeah, you learn to drive and you'll still be able to drive. It's just I want the car to drive.
You're doing everything in your power to make sure I drive a Tesla, aren't you?
Yes.
No, I can't. No.
I'm sorry, baby, but you got to.
You're so fucking evil.
I'm not evil. You can pick any. There's new Teslas coming out.
You're so evil, Gracie.
It's because I love you, and I can't let you get hurt driving.
I'm never gonna get hurt driving. I'm just scared of hurting other people. That's my fear.
You might if you're a bad driver. Tesla won't hurt other people.
That's why I'm cautionary, because I cannot imagine myself hurting another human being. I never want to drive again.
Well, that's why I just drive a Tesla and you'll be fine. Because like in the Tesla, you're like a passenger princess.
No, I'm not. It's an evil ass robot. I swear one day it's gonna be like Tesla, take me home. It's gonna say no.
Then you drive yourself home.
Gracie, help me. No, it's gonna start driving me to like the middle of like the fucking what's it called? Drive me to the middle of the desert somewhere. And then oh fuck. This is what you want from me.
I gotta apply for some jobs this week. Make sure I don't forget. I don't want to, but I gotta sit down and apply for like 40 more. I don't want to, but. Some applications were well. Some of them were like, you're not who we're looking for, but like, we'll keep you down. You just have different skills. Like, well, yeah, obviously, that's why I applied, is I need to get my foot in the door. I mean, tech jobs aren't really real as much anymore, and all the ones that are real give them to people who don't fucking know tech. It pisses me off.
I applied to a temp agency and then it pissed me off because they have me doing the majority of the work, right?
I'm not doing no temp agency. That's not reliable work.
I did.
That's like what I'm doing right now as a contractor. I want reliable 9 to 5, baby.
Do you know what? No, it's temporary.
I don't care about no 9 to 5, but I want reliable. The guy's like, does any shift work for you? I'm like, dude, any shift will work for me. I need a job that's full-time guaranteed pay. If you want me to get out at fucking 3 o'clock in the morning and start driving, that's what I used to do. He's like, what about the winter? I said, guess what? I don't care if it's this fucking snowstorm. I'll get out at 3 o'clock in the winter and drive to New Hampshire.
I have to go. My sister's spamming my phone. I'm supposed to go help her buy something.
At night, anytime. I'll get out and start driving.
Yeah.
What's the? I thought the speed limit here is 25.
I could literally give 2 shits right now, someone. You leave me alone. I'm still pissed at you. I'm in here. Don't you dare open the door.
You're so mean to him.
You're
so mean to
him. I mean to him for a reason. He's been really up my ass. Like last night when I left too, he wouldn't let me go. And if he was like, oh, he's so cute, he's just watching. No, he's not cute. He does this constantly.
He's just so cute. He doesn't want you to go, Nina.
He's like watching me go, banging on the window, crying. Like,
banging on the window. Never coming back.
Yes, you'll never see me again. Goodbye.
Bye.
No?
Yeah. About 20 minutes, and then I'll be at the store. Grab the quick pizza. Do I get the $1 drink? Do I get like a lemonade? No, I don't need
You and your obsession with lemonade. How about we buy lemonade?
It's not lemonade, it's just, I need something that's not like, I'll grab like what? We have juice at home. I don't want juice. I'll just do a water. I don't need no $1 lemonade.
I'm just waiting for all my underwear to finish washing up because I'm tired of wearing boxers outside.
What?
Anyways, you go get your juice or whatever. Don't forget, I have work at 6 p.m., so I'll be leaving the house at like 4 p.m.
Yeah, I'm gonna go home, relax, and it'll be almost the end of the day. I get to watch my shows on the TV. Did you see the room on the Renty? How nice the camera looks and shit? I mean, how nice the room looks, bro, with the TV in the corner, and it's on my side, so if you want to watch it, you have to go closer to my side to watch it.
That's evil.
No, that's unintentional. That's just because I put it against the wall, so.
That's so evil, bro.
It's not evil. I just realized that when I started watching it, I was like, wait a minute, this is my side. Unless Nina wants to sleep close to the window.
You're always running away from me, so that makes it nice.
No.
Yes, you're always running away from me in your sleep. Ever since we put you in the corner. What? Let's say I gotta see how she's feeling right now. I'm coming!
Sabrine!
Shut up.
Sabrine!
All of this over me having to go pick makeup products. Like, what am I? I'm the house everything now.
Goodbye, baby. I love you. I'll call you. Call me later.
I'll see you.
Okay.
Probably. If I don't, it's okay though, because I'm probably doing stuff.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
You enjoy your day. See you later.
Go relax.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
LinkedIn hiring pro.
No!
Are no.
That was the year that people were
doing like a control group, and they're like, oh, this is bad.
To interviewing. LinkedIn hiring pro.
This boxy thing that's not to have it in your house. All that on version history.
Sim 3 last.
You gotta order one for next.
Version history on YouTube and wherever you get podcasts.
All right, welcome back to Andrew's Mouse Corner again. I kind of wanted both of these the same week, but then I kind of thought this one was never coming in, and then it came in after we did the Ponage Sim 3 last week.
You gotta order one for next week now, so you keep it going.
That will never happen. This
just
is
order a Cyborg Rat 7.
If you order the Cyborg Rat 7, I'll do a review on the podcast next week.
Okay, noted.
I will smash that thing, buddy. This is the Logitech Pro X2 Super String. Not a great name, but
a lot of words.
This is kind of like the most hype mouse in the scene right now for a couple of reasons. One, Logitech G Pro has been kind of like the de facto tried and true gaming mouse for years at this point. I think you could look at like Valorant or Counter-Strike stats of how many people use a specific mouse, and I think the G Pro is top of the list every single time. But so this is the exact same form factor, but Logitech finally decided to do something kind of cool because they've been kind of boring for a while. This mouse on its the exterior. It's just everything you kind of expect. It's not too flashy. It's nothing like really bad. It's nothing really good. It's just a good form factor. 2 buttons, symmetrical. It's everything you would want. But this one is doing something a little different. This actually has no switches, not mechanical or options. There are no switches. This is fully haptic.
What?
Similar to like
Hall effect?
No, it's not Hall effect. It's haptic. Those are optical switches. It's like your MacBook trackpad. How it is essentially a fake click. And the reason I want to bring it onto this is because I can get reactions from all of you. Because the easiest way to test what this feels like is I will hand this to you. And I want you to click the buttons. You can even do them in the microphone. Click the buttons right now. What do they feel like?
Mush.
Like broken, right?
They do move.
They do move.
But feels like I'm not actuating.
Sure. Now the switch on the bottom, flip that on. And now start clicking. The sound is not fantastic, but...
The sound's not great, but there is a... Yeah.
There's a
pretty convincing... Yeah, click.
I'll let David try this now. This is off.
Would you say that you just want to click? You just want to click?
Subscribe.
Yeah, that feels mushy.
It feels broken, right?
Yeah, it feels broken. This is the on.
Now flip it on, yeah.
Yeah.
This is amazing audio.
It's great for audio listeners. I mean, we're getting...
Oh, yeah, okay. So it goes from feeling like broken to like there's something there. There's still a lot of actuation.
I agree with you. I'm not like full... Well, so that's one thing...
That's higher than I would like.
That's something that now we can do with this mouse, is we can change a couple different things. We can change actuation force.
Oh.
We can change essentially like the clickiness of it, and you can change what it's calling rapid trigger, which is essentially was really popular on keyboards a couple years ago. Stuff like snap tap, where not only it got worked in certain things, like it could do things that programs would make it think was possibly cheating, because essentially what it's doing is if you have an actuation length going down until the button's actuated, essentially what you could do is the lift off to reset that could be also very, very small. You can make it really small. So a way this can be really beneficial is if you're in a game where, let's say, you have a gun that's semi-automatic. So at each click is one shot. If that gun is really strong, but the like weakness of it is a semi-automatic, but now you can make your actuation really small and your reset activation really short as well. You can just, and it feels like an automatic gun.
That would hurt my finger.
That's pretty sick that you can get.
And so right now I have the left click as a 5 in your haptics.
Out of 5.
5 out of 5, and the right is on 1. So if you click these now, it's not a big difference, but there are 5 levels of activation per button. Buttons can be different as well. It's just, this is kind of a cool thing in the mouse world, I guess. This is brand new. This is within a month.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to try left versus right. Like I said, this isn't like the craziest thing, but like the ability to have this in a mouse is such a smaller version of where you can put this in versus a keyboard where you have full PCBs and individual switches and everything.
Yeah.
So I thought this was kind of cool. I don't have much to say about it.
How much is it?
$180. There is one other cool thing which is super niche, which is a lot of people, when they're doing something called bunny hopping in first-person shooters, they actually change their jump button from the space bar to the wheel so that you can just... Bunny hopping is when you jump and you hit the jump like the second you hit the ground, which carries momentum in a lot of games, which lets you move faster. So when people do it on the wheel, it makes it so you're always hitting the jump as you land, because you're not just pressing space one time, you're scrolling through it, which is like 10 jumps at a time, right?
You can just scroll.
You can just scroll to be your jump. So that's how people will make sure that their jump is always landing at the perfect point. This has a bunny hop mode, so like it makes it really sensitive. What?
I know it wasn't bad at FPSs. I just don't have
you just weren't bunny hopping correctly.
Equipment.
It has a thing so you can't accidentally scroll the scroll wheel when you're clicking buttons, which can happen sometimes because if you jump when you're trying to fire, you completely screw up recoil and everything. But yeah, there's not much to this. I will say, since this is a totally new technology in a thing that you press thousands of times in a life cycle very quickly, I would probably wait till like people are using this for a while.
We have haptic like trackpads, like you mentioned. So there's a motor in there, and then there's the sort of attachment to the moving piece. Theoretically, that's similar tech to the trackpad. Like that should last a long time.
Think about how often you click on your trackpad versus how often you might click in like one game of Counter-Strike.
Dude, that's fair. Yeah, that's
or Dota is literally all movement is based on clicking. It's probably
you're right,
500 to 1,000 clicks like a game.
Probably more.
It might be more. Where like you do that on this trackpad, like
Dota's like an hour-long game, and to move you have to be like.
You're just
interesting.
My computer's going crazy with this patch right now, but yeah.
I want to do a LAN party.
I want to try this.
Actually, play Dota and Valorant and all that stuff.
Dude, I don't know how
such dog at Valorant now, but
I don't know how anyone gets into Dota. It's like the most complicated.
Because I don't know. Like, you guys say these games, I know nothing about them.
I'll play with you one day. We'll play.
Yeah.
Let's play. Let's play Valorant.
Let's play a Let's Play.
Let's play. All right. Studio stream.
Yeah, I'm Guardian 5, which is the second lowest tier, and I've 4,800 hours.
Well, Marquez just bought his rat mouse, so
yeah.
You bought the mouse?
No, I really want to though.
If I had the rat 7, I'd be better at Dota.
I bet you that mouse. How much does that mouse weigh? This is 60 grams.
It can weigh as much as you want.
Yeah, it's customizable.
I remember the days of adding weights where now everyone is like, I need to shave grams off of my mouse. If this thing is over 35 grams, I ain't touching it.
It could weigh up to 157 grams.
That's like
having a mouse with progressive overload is crazy.
It's like it's weight training.
It's modular, baby.
So the AI overview, which is almost definitely wrong, but it says that one game of Dota can be between 5,000 to 10,000 clicks.
That sounds insane.
Yeah.
That's why, to be fair, this is something where, like, gaming really loves to do and we've seen this with frame rates and graphics cards and everything, is like, you need this to be better, but it's like the top 0.5% might find, like, a huge difference in this. I do think this will be more interesting than, like, snap tap, because counter-strafing is something that is really hard to do, but in games where just like a semi-automatic rifle might need to fire faster, you can do that so easily on a mouse like this. I need to go home and actually try it, but now I have 2 mice to try and no time to try them.
3.
So I'm just gonna start playing games at work.
Yeah, it's James Bond, no time to try. Can I also make a quick announcement?
Sure.
Streetlight Manifesto. This band.
All right, trivia.
I've been waiting. Their album still didn't come out. Okay.
That's the announcement?
They announced a show in June.
That's the announcement.
But in December, they said that there wouldn't be another show until the album comes out, which was last June, so the album was supposed to come out. So
is the Tesla Roadster going to come out?
Siri 2.0 or Streetlight Manifesto first?
Ooh. That's a good question. Probably at the same time. Someone was joking on the Streetlight subreddit that the reason it hasn't come out was because their music is going to be in GTA 6's like the radio station. So they're just delaying it alongside GTA 6. Anyway, I just had to tell you guys that. For my like 2 fans out there that care about this. I know there's at least 2 though, because Alice told me that at South by Southwest somebody said that her husband cared about Streetlight.
She was like, my husband's a huge fan of the podcast. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, I've never seen an episode. I don't really know anything about it, but I do know that someone on the podcast is like a fan of this really small band I'm really, really into. And I was like, it's Streetlight Manifesto and David, isn't it? She was like, yeah.
So, thank you. Now we can do trivia.
Can I tell you guys a funny AI overview thing that happened to me a little bit ago?
Yeah.
I was trying to Google the English translation. I was trying to see if there was an English translation of this book that's like a collection of folklore that I really wanted to read. And so I searched English and then the name of the book. And it's like a collection of these stories, and AI Overview mixed up the ISBN, which is like the book registration number, with the number of stories in it. So it said, The Mabinogion is a collection of 11-125-02-39255-0811-13728-1002338-018-09-012-321154 medieval Welsh prose tales. I don't know what that number is, but I guarantee you there's not that much of anything in anywhere.
That's almost as long as the Silmarillion.
Oh, there's way more.
I had a huge fight with
AI overview.
Well, it was like Google Lens search, and then the AI like I was trying to find a keycap that was on the Mech keyboard subreddit, and I said, "What is this?" and it like kept bringing me saying, oh, it's this and this model from this artist and it's on this website. I'm like, I can't find it on the website. Are you sure? Oh, just kidding. It was actually this one for so long. And then I kept
You're
going
absolutely right.
It just kept saying, it's definitely from this. I said, what picture? Show me link. Just send me a link. Only give me the link. Don't say anything else. And I just never got it. And then I just replied on the subreddit, and in like 5 minutes he answered what it was from, and I was like, I hate AI so much.
Freaking.
It
Talking
never
to
got it
humans
right.
is better than talking to
Did it just send you this picture over and over again?
A key on a baseball cap.
Keycap? Keycap?
Damn,
Guys,
that's a fire hat.
Wait, you should buy that.
I should definitely buy this.
how many Wikipedia pages are there called
I hate
Apple
photos so much.
TV? And I'm looking for Delta. You can go over.
Delta Airlines.
Do you know why it's called Delta Airlines?
Because
it changes what place you're in.
Yeah, that's.
I made that up. That's not true.
I thought you were going to say
Probably
because
true.
No, it almost is definitely because of
Price is Right Airlines.
Delta.
I was going to say Delta Wings, but jetliners don't use Delta Wings. So
Delta Christ.
I don't.
I think it's actually just changing where you
It's just changing.
I think he was actually on the Deltatarian diet and just came back from it.
He was eating only triangles. Allegedly, it is named after the Mississippi Delta. Guys, how many Wikipedia pages? Whoever
It's
gets
a river.
closest.
It's a mouth of the river. I said 6.
6 is incorrect.
Okay. I said 7.
That is also incorrect.
I said 7.
That is
Damn.
third incorrect. But Marquez was closest. There are 3.
Oh.
There's
It's kind of a trick question.
There's the page for the Apple TV hardware device, the Apple TV streaming service,
Damn.
and the Apple TV app, which you can get
Oh, yeah.
on other
Because these are dedicated pages.
So I thought there would be more than one for the hardware device.
There are 3 things called...
2026, 2024.
But there's not separate pages. There's just one
4K,
page that details all of them.
No, these are 3 separate Wikipedia pages.
No, I know those are. I'm talking about the hardware.
Oh, fair enough.
Yes, no. 3
I'll take
separate
the point, though.
Yeah.
Apple TV Wikipedia
Marquez
pages.
needs the point, so I'll give it to him.
Not a single TV made by Apple. I'm now going to hand it off to Adam for a quick update on that score.
Anna de Montana it up.
Marquez with 19.
Got a point.
Andrew with 19. David way in the lead, 23. Yeah. Next question. What
Really
year
got out of hand.
did Apple release Apple Maps?
What year?
Closest without
being
going over.
Too high?
Yep. Yeah.
I think it's this, but let me think. So dub. Farther. Without going too high?
Indeed. Without going too high.
Dang. Try it.
And flip them and read. What do you guys got?
Oh, Jesus. Oh, wow. We all
I'm just going to say all of you are wrong, but tell me what your answers are.
I wrote 2017.
Nope.
I wrote 2014.
Nope.
2010.
Nope. But Andrew gets the point.
Because I didn't go over,
Because you
baby.
didn't go over.
Let's go.
It was 2012.
Oh.
That's my first point. Maybe in 2026.
No.
I went on a blazing lead to start,
Historic
and I
run.
have not had anything.
Guns blazing.
It's essentially the New Jersey Devils.
We're going to have to
blow it out of the water and then just
Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah.
Sacramento City Kings.
Oh.
That's because I grew up there.
Yeah, that's a good.
I went to a lot of games. Kobe was.
Nope.
Sorry, he was on the.
Oh, that's Bam.
Bam? No, it was no, the old guys.
Yeah, you got this.
When the Kings were good.
Hit it.
No,
Mike,
he was not.
Bibby? Are you a Bibby fan?
Bibby. I had a bobblehead of Bibby of Mike Bibby. Yeah,
the Bibby bobblehead.
Bibby bobblehead. Kevin Durant.
No.
Peja Stojakovic. Does that
Peja
ring a bell?
Stojakovic.
He was Doug Christie.
Doug Christie.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Doug Christie.
Brad.
Mike Bibby.
Brad.
Lander. Brad.
No.
Brad.
Miller.
I don't know. My grandpa was really into Kings basketball, so we went to a lot of games, actually.
I was waiting for you to explain the film in basketball terms, and you never did.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the film? Oh, yeah. Somebody posted this photo. So, well, okay. Real quick. I gotta give you guys... Okay, I gotta tell you about this. Mm-hmm. I'll explain... I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. It's not about Streetlight, though. It's about film. Okay, so... Kodak. You know Kodak?
Yeah, I saw it.
I know Kodak.
They went bankrupt a long time ago.
I believe you.
Yeah, they went bankrupt. Kodak was basically like IBM. They were like one of the biggest companies in the world for quite a long time. Then they went bankrupt because they were stupid. And then
Because nobody shoots film anymore.
that's not true. I do. Anyway, they had to split into two separate companies as part of the bankruptcy, and they became Kodak and Kodak Alaris. Kodak Eastman and Kodak Alaris. Okay. The way that the deal worked was that Kodak Eastman would produce the film, and they would sell the film to Kodak Alaris, which would then sell the film to consumers. They package it, sell it to consumers.
Really strange bankruptcy.
I don't get that.
Yeah, I don't really get
Hey, we don't have any money, so let's just be the same company, but two companies.
Yeah,
the same thing.
I don't
More complicated.
There's details and there's business stuff. Taxes. I don't know. Anyway, fairly recently, Kodak Eastman, and I'm not sure why this started happening, became able to sell film itself again. So now Kodak Alaris still exists, who they are still selling film to, but they have new packaging and new names for like a lot of the film that they're selling. So there's like Ultramax and like there's Portra and all this stuff. Portra is the Kodak Eastman like name for the film, but Alaris name for the film, but the Kodak Eastman version is now called like Kodacolor or something like that.
Okay.
So anyway, over the last like 6 months, they've been re-releasing all these films, but with like different packaging and different names, generally cheaper because they don't have to sell it. Eastman doesn't have to. No, Alaris doesn't have to make a margin. Anyway, on Instagram they posted, we just released this new film, and someone said, "Can you explain this to me in basketball terms?" Okay.
David.
So, I think my basketball thing would be like, if Mike Bibby and Kobe, is that bad to say?
No, it's a basketball player.
Kobe Bryant. Okay. Mike Bibby and Kobe Bryant were like best friend. Were like the same person, and then they split into two people. Well, this is a bad analogy. I can't make the basketball analogy. I don't know enough about basketball to make the basketball.
I think that's a hard thing to do.
I can do a tech analogy.
People can't split in half.
If you can make a tech analogy, I will try to make it a basketball.
Okay. Good. This is like telephone.
He just did.
I like this.
Film company split in two. Basketball it.
But
no. Okay.
But what's
let me do a tech analogy.
Yeah.
Okay. Imagine if Android had to spin off from Google, right? And or Chrome. Let's say Chrome. Okay. And Google still made Chrome, but they couldn't distribute it. And Chrome, the company, was the one that like actually packaged it and distributed it to people. And then later on, for some reason, Google was once again able to make Chrome, and because Chromium is open sourced, because they still have the rights to do it. Yeah. They released it under Google Chrome as opposed to just Chrome. You know,
I got a version.
Okay, basketball.
It would be like if Kevin Durant played for a Seattle team called the Supersonics, and then at some point they went away and they split. Kevin Durant went to another team, and the Supersonics went away and became Oklahoma City Thunder. And then later, the NBA was like, we should make an expansion team in Seattle. And Kevin Durant went back to the Seattle team.
Oh.
I like it.
Okay. We should clip that and comment on that guy's comment.
Let's see if that works. That might not be that.
That was like a game of telephone.
It might happen. It might not. All that, we've learned a lot on the pod.
That was some human trivia-ass explanations.
Yeah. Hopefully some of that is accurate. Hey, thanks for watching. See you in April.
Wait, really?
It's been a really long March. I know. It's
will be because.
Damn, how do you fuck up that bad, Tesla? Well, how did that guy fuck up that bad? Not even parking a fucking parking spot.